Meghan Markle's estranged family reunited for a tell-all interview where her father, Thomas Markle, made a deathbed plea to estranged daughter, Meghan, how can I fix this? I'm guessing it's by not doing more of these interviews and proving to be who she said you were. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and yes, Meghan Markle's family did an interview in Australia. We have the clips. I'm going to play for you these clips. Before I do, I want to make it clear, I think they're all despicable. And thank God for this interview who actually asked the question. I'm going to play for it as well. Aren't you just as bad as she is? And yes, I think they are. Look, I think they make some interesting points that I am going to challenge Meghan on, but I'm going to look at this from afar because I really got no horse in this race. I'm not a huge Meghan fan. However, I'm not that passionate against her where I feel like I'm piling on and bullying her. I think she's made a lot of choices that have caused a lot of the actions that have happened. So I don't feel like she's the victim that she keeps claiming to be. And a lot of people have just drank that Kool-Aid and are doing it. But I'm going to tell you how I feel. Let's do it through these clips. Let's play this one first. Now, I think this one was pretty telling, and we'll start here.
These guys can tell you how close we were, Meg and I.
Now, I'm going to start and stop a lot because I have to, because this is commentary. This is fair use to a spotlight if you try and do it. You showed a lot of clips from Netflix, so we're allowed to play some clips from you. They played a lot of home video footage, her hometown queen footage, all these childhood home videos. And I think it's misleading. It's easy to have like nice, fun home movies and then still have a bad relationship in adulthood. Just because you were smiley then doesn't mean you were smiley always. There's clearly issues with this family. And I don't like that he keeps like showing this to try to prove the world like she still loves me. Well, I'm sure she loved you. She was your daughter, right? But what happened after? That's really what this is about. Not about exploiting the old home movies. And I can understand, yes, Andy, he's trying to defend himself because she's been trying to paint him in the way. Sure, I can understand that to an extent. But I'm going to challenge you a lot through this video. A father's job is to protect their kids, no matter what. And it's not a father's job. It's very Jamie Spears of this guy to constantly try to be like, I love my daughter, but here, let me defend myself. Look, if she wants to go her way and you don't get to have that relationship, it sucks. It really would suck. But I'd feel more for you if you weren't constantly getting paid to get clips out there. That guys, he's absolutely licensing these clips to this outlet and getting paid for it. And that's weird to me.
And I certainly spent a lot of my life with her. And I don't know how she can throw all it away.
Thomas had Meghan with his second wife, Doria.
Now that's important because I didn't know all this. So yes, so he had his second wife and he had two children before. The step brother and stepsister, half-sister, whatever you want to call them, they're in this interview as well.
For many years, father and daughter shared a special bond. But
as they tend to do when you're kids, that happens. Doesn't mean it stays forever.
No longer. As he approaches the end of his life, he regrets the end of their relationship. He's never met his grandchildren, and he never hears from her.
So we assume that because of the international press coverage, Meghan knows you've had a stroke.
Now, this is a big question because you'd think a stroke would take you there, right? You'd think, right? Let's see the answer.
Of course she has to know.
I'm taking it from that she hasn't called you.
No.
No phone call.
No.
How long has it been now?
It's been 4 years.
So just radio silence.
Exactly.
Now, again, sharing that doesn't help Meghan at all. At the same time, I can understand why that would frustrate a father. And I'm going to call Meghan out on this. No matter your differences, unless there was like physical, DV situations going down and like emotional, situations where it was ABUSCIVE, you know what I'm saying? I got to care for my words here. Unless there's that, like really where it's like so traumatic and problematic and, triggering. If he's just a money grubbing clout chaser, that doesn't mean you don't check in on him on a stroke. Like a stroke, serious. It's your father. So he wants money. Okay. Welcome to every fight in the world is family and money. And family is supposed to be above that. And so my problem is for her to not even make a call, even amidst it all, like my dad's could be dying. Can I check on him and see if he's okay? that shows that she has serious hatred towards him. And I'm just confused why the things that Thomas did would warrant that, which is, and we're going to go through, which he's talked in Oprah and other things, the fact that he sold photos to the press to try to create more money, which he now has said he regrets. And then he shared a letter of hers that was very private. Now, these two things I could understand are reasons why you'd want to maybe disown and not give the father more. I do see that. But did it not even check after a stroke?
If she doesn't turn up for a stroke, if that doesn't move her, what would?
I mean, this is your father. It's your father. Love him, hate him, political differences, the fact that he's made bad choices. It's your father. It's hard to not be swayed by this. And I can see why a lot of people are, especially with all the photos and stuff he's piling it on in his final interview. We'll see.
There's a lot that's been lost already. And I grieve a lot. I mean, I've lost my father.
You lost him. You left. You left. You made that choice. He's not dead. And in fact, they talk about that later in the show. We're going to play another clip.
When you look at, in my opinion, what she and Harry have done, throwing everybody in the family, everybody in the royal family under the bus, doing Netflix, making $100 million, doing Spare, writing their own books. Who are the gold diggers?
I mean, that's a fair question. That's a fair question that Samantha's asking.
So what do you say to the people who say that you came here, you made these multi-million-dollar deals, and that you were just money-grabbing royals?
Good question. Good question, Oprah.
Who are the opportunists of family name and of family stories and of photographs and of, you know, come on. That's the pot calling the kettle at its ugliest.
I mean, look, I don't always agree with some of the things that the Markle family has done, but it's very hard to deny her that quote. I gotta call it what it is. 100%. She's right on the money.
Look, from my perspective, all I needed was enough money to be able to pay for security, to keep my family safe.
So do you have enough of that? Are we good now? I bet you got enough of that. The money you got should cover you, Harry. So is it now no longer about the money? Because I guess that's your answer, not Meghan's answer. Because Meghan's going to make a lot more money exploiting it with her new agent, which we just broke down. But, you know, oh no, she's nice and doesn't want the money. It's not about the money. Got it. Got it.
So
I want to play you this clip too. This is again, a lie that is true. Now, I don't know the relationship, and that's the problem with a lot of this. I don't know the relationship. It's hard to pick sides, but here she is with her stepbrother, who's clearly older. Both of these siblings were older. And that, you know, probably, I'm assuming they're fibbing here and that they weren't as close as they claim to be. Everyone's got like a cousin or someone you see once in a while, and then they suddenly become famous, and that cousin says you're a lot closer than you are. That's what this feels like to me, is two half siblings who were there and part of the life, clearly spent some time with her, but weren't like there every day. You know what I mean? And so they're trying to play that against her. And to some points, they're right.
during the Oprah interview, when Meghan said she had no siblings, when she told the world she was an only child, I mean, were you disappointed?
No, I just made a little mark on my board and said, oh, there's another lie, click.
Were you puzzled?
Not any more puzzled than I was when she said, I lost my father. We knew that she didn't lose our dad. She iced our father. And there's a very big difference. It was deliberate.
But why do that, Samantha? Why do that to somebody, especially your family?
Good question. You'd think that would be something you would never do.
I'll tell you why. What she told the royal family, what she told Harry, wouldn't have jived, wouldn't have been consistent with the truth.
But why make up those stories? Are you suggesting that she doesn't think that her family is good enough?
Exactly, and I think more than that, it doesn't seem like she felt that she was good enough. That seemingly in her mind, she had to inflate who she was to garner false admiration and to be accepted by the royals, instead of saying, look, I've worked very hard. My family was upper middle class. He put me through the best schools. He did the best he could. He loved me. He sacrificed, and for that, I'm grateful. Instead, what she did was engage in self-glorification and leave everybody else out of the equation as if she existed in a vacuum. In my opinion, she would still be a waitress if it wasn't for Dad.
Now, again, it's hard to deny some of these quotes, even though I don't really think I think they're just as guilty. Like, there's hurt here, and there's some valid things that they're saying. It's hard to deny it. Now, this was a good pushback.
Can I put a proposition to you?
This is exactly what I thought. So I was like, kudos this interview. I wish he would have pushed it a little harder, but he's going to ask the question, what makes you any better?
As your family, you guys are just so much alike. And Meghan really is just a carbon copy. What do you say to that proposition? I mean, in the sense that you're really just as bad as each other.
Yes, 100%.
Well, I throw the ball, you throw them back.
I mean, she has made...
Fathers shouldn't throw balls back. Fathers should be there to protect, is what I would argue.
money out of selling her story.
No offense.
You have made money sometimes out of selling your story.
But she can afford a much bigger ball.
No offense, but she can afford a bigger ball. So I'm going to fight back my daughter. Look, that is a huge red flag right there. It's a huge red flag right there. Again, it's very Jamie Spears, the whole Britney situation. I love my daughter. I'm going to do whatever it takes to defend myself is what's happening here. And I don't know. I think a good father wouldn't do this. I could say that's easy, Andy, when your kid's out there crapping on you. But, you know, we got to call a spade a spade. They're both, again, where did she learn it from? Where did she learn it from? If we're going to believe this anti-Meghan story, where did she learn it from? You're looking at them, guys. It's the same thing. They're all doing the same thing.
There is no denying.
And I got to say, the fact, well, she has a bigger ball, so they're just jealous of the money. So here they play a lot of the clips.
To prove that Meghan enjoyed a close relationship with her father, the family decided to share a selection of treasured childhood videos.
Now, this kind of bugs me, I got to be honest, because it's like, this doesn't prove anything. You can have a bad parent who just shows up once in a while
regular lessons,
and
school shows,
tapes some of the best moments, or shows up. This doesn't mean that there weren't problems in the family. Let's be fair. But it does seem like she had a very good childhood. Let's call it real. This looks like she had a very, happy, productive, childhood where she was supporting. There was a point here, like, I didn't realize he was building these sets for her in these high school productions. Like, he was part of Hollywood. He worked for Hollywood. Like, yeah, they had a good run together, it seems, as a family. But again, here's Harry describing
as mourning the loss of her father.
Yeah.
I knew my way around grief, and there was no mistaking it. This was pure grief. She was mourning the loss of her father.
Sounds as though you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. She killed me and then mourned me.
Every day there was another humiliating photo in the papers. Thomas Markle buying a new loo. Thomas Markle buying a six-pack. Thomas Markle with his belly hanging over his belt.
My father, he worked 40 years in television. Won 2 Emmy Awards, was nominated for another one. And so all of his peers at ABC and in television seeing deadbeat dad. He's a drunk, he's slovenly, he's, cashing in on his daughter.
You think he's been very unfairly treated, don't you?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, at no time did she come out and say, don't treat my family like that. That's not true. So she had the opportunity, if we were misunderstanding something, to set it straight and to take charge in a positive way.
Which is pretty much the same thing that she's saying the royals should have done.
Can I put a proposition?
So, and then we go back to this thing, which again, look, I'm torn because there are things here where I do connect with what they're saying, and I can say, yeah, that's a family that's pissed. The whole idea of, the things that he's done to her, let's be clear, are not nice things. He was just exploiting her fame. And then the fact that he published parts of that letter, a private letter she wrote to him, just proved to the world, it was almost like she was setting it up. My dad's going to publish this, but I'm going to write it real and it'll be what it is. If he publishes it, then he's dead to me. And then he publishes it. Now he claims there were such cruel, mean things in there that he would never show the world. That's convenient. So look, I'm torn. There are things here said by this family that I don't like. It does seem like there was a relationship. Now, granted, the sister and brother were way older, but still they were together. They had some relationship, and this is your family, like it or not. And yeah, a lot of family wants to get paid. A lot of family dysfunctionally. They see you suddenly getting big, and then they get frustrated. Like, wait, hey, what about me? I took care of you. I was there. And you don't have to be there fully. You don't have to support them fully, but at least like keep them a little close. And if they keep doing what they're doing, then fine. You can sort of make that clear and make it publicly clear. I've tried with my family. Every time I try, they do this. Like, you just got to own it. And instead, she's disowned them and iced them. And that's very clear. And by doing that, Meghan, you've made this worse because now you've left them out to just be angry and stew. And the reality is they do have some points here as your family. Now, unless there's something I don't know about, some ABUSC that is so severe that would really create this problem. If it's just money, if it's just the cloud, if it's just the fact that he was doing stupid articles, the fact that he was sending stuff because you ghosted him, I think all of that should be able to be talked about privately and attempting to work out when your father has a stroke. I'm sorry. It's hard to ignore that part of it too. So again, I come back around. I think they're all despicable. I think this whole family's despicable, but I refuse to just pile on Meghan. I do think there's problems here that the family brings up that Meghan shouldn't just ignore. At the same time, I think the family we shouldn't be saying, oh, what a lovely family that's done no wrong. Families are there to protect each other, not release publicly private things. Anybody who's releasing private things about somebody who you had a trusting relationship with is scum. That's scummy. It's just scummy. It's for attention. It's for their own insecurities to feel better. And I don't like it. I don't like it, especially when it's family. If you cross that line and you can't trust your family, well, then yeah, I could see why you got iced. And now you're still doing it again in your final interview. How much did you get paid on this? How much were the licensing fees for these home videos and photos? Let's keep it a buck, Thomas Markle and family. I'm curious. Did they really pay nothing? Why wasn't that all set over? Like, Meghan and Harry made a point that we didn't get paid for anything in this Oprah interview, even though I don't buy that. They got a donation to their charity, I think. Everybody gets paid for this garbage, including them. And you even heard Harry say, well, I just wanted enough for my security. Well, do you have enough yet? Because it doesn't seem like you do. All these people are despicable, but where do you stand? Who's worse? Who do you think? Are you equally as frustrated as I am? I want to hear your thoughts down below. We are going to be live later today to discuss this and so much more. I think it's going to be a lively one with Steph. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for alerts, smash that like button and leave your comments. Again, who's worse, Meghan, Thomas, or the whole clan? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet. And so glad to be back in studio. Look forward to see you live later this afternoon.